Leslie, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
We are.
Yep, I'll cover that.
Then
All set, Leslie?
Yes.
Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to call the March 21st Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We're going to start out with a prayer from Commissioner Heberling and the pledge by myself.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to meet here. We thank you for a free country, for those who gave their life to keep us a free country. And Lord, most of all, as we go through our Board of Commissioner meeting, our finance meeting today, we pray, Lord, that you would guide and direct us so we make the right decisions and give us the wisdom and the insight to make those decisions. We give you the honor and the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible. Everyone, Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1 Chairman John Black,
Present.
District 2 Commissioner Roger Ballard,
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Gary Heberling,
Present.
District 4 Commissioner Bill Sarkella is absent. District 5 Commissioner Christine Lee here. District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart.
Here.
District 7 Commissioner John Moody.
Here. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Before we adopt today's agenda, I see we have a full house here again, so I'll address the crowd as I typically do. There's 2 opportunities for public comment today. The first opportunity is pertaining to agenda items only. The second opportunity is at the end of our agenda for any general public comments. So if anybody has anything pertaining to the agenda, you could address us during public comments on section 12 of the agenda. If not, if they're general public comments, they'll be addressed at the end of the meeting. With that said, there are no additions, corrections, or deletions to today's agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Do we need to change for the district?
Correction, yeah,
You want to make a motion?
Oh, I don't know.
with the correction.
Yeah, sure. If you want to make the motion with the correction of the on Council on Aging, it's not District 5 representatives, it's District 6. That good with you, Evan? Yep. Okay, so we have a motion to adopt the amended agenda. Is there support?
Support.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Ehart to adopt, support from Commissioner Ballard. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Agenda is adopted. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve our meeting minutes from March 7th.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Heberling. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You received your correspondence through email from Jody a few days ago. That'll take us into commissioner reports, and we will start with Commissioner Ballard.
Last night I attended the Lamont Township meeting. They are scheduling road maintenance at this time, a drain project, and there was also discussion on funding of a school liaison officer for Marlette, and they tabled that again until the chief of police comes to their meeting. Marlette Township, I was there last Tuesday. Not much going on there other than the construction of a new hangar at the airport is going to begin soon, which will host the first jet in Marlette. So that's kind of big news for the airport.
They have an airstrip there that's sizable enough
Yeah.
to accommodate.
Yep. I think both directions are actually. Yep. That's it.
Thanks, Roger. Gary?
I attended Sandusky City Council meeting last night. I won't go into every detail. A couple of important things they're going to be doing is tearing up a couple streets, Jefferson and Worth Street, and for sewer lines, and that's in preparation for next summer for the new water lines going through M46 and things, and there was some other smaller issues, so I won't go into detail. Not that important. And then 2 weeks ago, I attended the Watertown meeting, and one of the things that came up was a moratorium that will be presented at our planning meeting, our county planning mission, and then also if you went by the graveyard site and want to tell them there's no more trees out there. So a few people that from that township didn't realize that was going to happen. They probably weren't the most pleased. So but they worked it out, and there was explanation gave why they did it. So that's all I have. And then we had a steering committee. Oh, that's in committee meetings. All right.
Thanks, Gary. Christine?
On the 13th, I attended the Brown City Council meeting, and basically they was talking about the board of review. On the 14th, I attended the Maple Valley Township meeting, same thing, board of review. And also that night, Flint Township meeting, the board of review, and they're modeling their senior center and updating it in their township hall. And on the 15th, I attended the Greater Brown City Area Chamber of Commerce. They're trying to get that up and going. And I went to the Village of Peck that same night, and they're doing a rate study for sewer and for water rates. And they updated the ordinance from 1985.
Thank you, Christine. I have nothing to report for a commissioner report. Evans?
I have my township meeting later this week and town council meetings next week. So I'm done to review.
Okay. John?
I had Fremont Township. They have a citizen that wanted to, a resident who wanted to put up a personal solar for their house, and they approved that. They're looking at using some ARPA money to replace windows at their township hall. They approved their chloride contract for the roads. This was all in the same night. I had 3 meetings on the 16th last Thursday. Ward Township had a joint session with their planning commission just to discuss their master plan, some things they want to do for the future. And then speaker, they discussed their wind overlay ordinance amendment. They appointed some new members to their board of review, appointed or approved their 2023 database management and printing services with Stanley County, and renewed their tax assessment contract. That's it.
Thanks, John. Thank you, everyone, for your commissioner reports. At this time, we'll ask Nathan for his administrator report.
Thank you. So the Sandusky Career Fair event took place last week. It was a good event. There was over 60 vendors locally, 60 businesses that participated. Great exposure for the kids. They got the opportunity to walk around, see what sort of opportunities are available here locally. Also, they were provided a series of questions that they could ask. So it allowed them to get familiar with what sort of questions they want to ask. And they allowed 7th through 12th grade to participate. So some of the very young kids, it's good because it just familiarizes them with stuff. And you could see the jitters in some of the kids as they would approach. And one of the things I heard is as kids walked around a little bit and they got more familiar with some of the handshakes and some of what to do, they kind of warmed up to it and it wasn't so daunting for them. So I think for the development of the kids, it was a very positive event. And I think it's something they're going to look to do yearly. And there was even some discussion about, is there the potential to expand it? Could more schools be involved? So very positive event for the youth. Our storm traps that are supposed to catch the debris coming out of the jail are going to be delivered. It's looking like the first week in April. Nick Lusher went down, toured the plant they're being made at, saw the storm traps, learned how to pull the bags, how to remove the bags from them. He got a little training in that. So he's ready to go. They'll be here in April. They'll get set and then we'll get them in the ground. So that's the plan. There was a power outage yesterday on Dawson Street, affected our EOC building. It affected our health department building. Both generators picked up, ran as expected. So that was a good thing. There was no issues with the generators. And lastly, you see some empty space down there where the vending machines were. We're going to be moving to a new vending machine provider. The Pepsi vending machines were picked up last week, and then our new machines will be delivered tomorrow. So we will have vending machines back in the building. All right, on the first and second floor. Thank you.
Any questions for Nathan?
No, I just want to add to your comment about the career day. I heard from everyone that was a great success. course, my wife works there, so she's a little biased, right? But, yeah, I think, it went well, hopefully they can expand on that, yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Nathan. Okay, it is time for public comments pertaining to today's agenda. Are there any public comments pertaining to the agenda today? Seeing none, we will move on to a presentation from Bob Brown and the Area Agency on Aging. Bob, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you to this body for allowing me time out of your valuable agenda. We appreciate it. We have a very low marketing budget since we're a nonprofit. Most of our money should go for feeding the seniors and taking care of them. Been my pleasure since 17 to be the executive director of Region 7. And I want to thank this board for their part in appointing me there. As you know, you appoint Christine Lee to the board itself. Bill Walters back here was appointed to the advisory council. And his colleagues appointed him as chair of the advisory council, which places him on my board of directors also. So he actually serves on 2 boards. Not to mention, he's always going to Lansing to advocate on behalf of seniors for 10 counties constantly, especially Sanilac County. Had to make sure I said the right county, right, Mr. Chair?
You got it.
I have 10 of them. I have a great board. I appreciate every county, and I appreciate how they all work together on a regional approach, and I appreciate that they get that support back home to be a regional entity. Many people ask me what an area agency on aging. No, we're not the insurance company. No, we're not going to take money from you. We want to give you services. So we're known for overseeing funding for meals, overfunding services for home and community-based services, information and assistant, and also MAP. And I want to talk about MAP for a while, and then I'll talk about 2 other programs we do, why we do them. And those would be the Medicaid programs. MAP, Medicare, Medicaid Assistance Program. So I got a saying, late fall, winter. Tell me it ain't so, Joe. Because I see one of my football heroes from my day when I played football up there shellacking for an insurance company. And he's trying to invite these people and he puts this light that they're unbiased, they're going to get you the best deal. Call our agency. I'm telling y'all, if you're confused about Medicare and re-enrollment, when that time comes later this year, call us. We have MAP counselors. We do not sell insurance products, and we give unbiased. And I will tell you, we achieved savings of $2 million again last year for our clients. Because what we do is look at people's medical needs, their medical formulas, and then we go shopping all the insurance companies on the Gov website with the client. We narrow it down to the best 3 or 5 that it computes out and sends out. And we don't tell them which one to buy, but we present their opportunities, options, and we answer questions about each product that they're looking at and viewing. We're a consultant for the client. And that's how we look at it. So give us a call. If you got questions about your Medicare when those come up for renewals. The other 2 programs I'd like to talk about, and then I'll get back to meals and the budget. PACE. Many of you heard we opened up PACE. We opened it up in Fort Gratiot. Wasn't in our original 10 counties, so now we service 11 counties. The reason we did that was they're an more urban area. And we're going to build that up and use those subsidies just like we do all surplus Medicaid funds. Medicaid is the one that's based on income. So anything we do, we're going to push PACE up through Sanilac all the way up to Europe. PACE is the program for all-inclusive care to the elderly. So we take care of them in their homes, all their medical needs, all their transportation needs. So how many of you have been, I shouldn't ask, how many of you, the board and through the chair, how many of you have struggled taking care of a loved one and the logistics of their care, the doctor's visits, the social visits, getting them to the birthday party, Well, we try to alleviate that stress so you can just enjoy the moment with your loved one. So that's what PACE is about. So we're approaching 50 clients. We have slots for 150. We're hoping that you'll send a lot of Sanilac folks our way. We would love to service them. If they have Medicare and Medicaid, it's basically free. So it's not a Medicare Advantage. It's a different type of program. So again, that all-inclusive care. The other program we do that's Medicaid is waiver. That's the home and community-based services. That's the one for homemaking and personal care and helping folks stay in their home. You might still have that person, a child that's helping mom and dad, still wanting to be involved in their medical care and know their doctors, wants to navigate that system still. So unlike PACE, we will help you with unskilled services in the home to keep your mom and dad in their home instead of an institution. We service many disabled, seniors, and veterans. Actually 900 across our 10 counties every day. The other thing is meals. We work with your councils on aging and their choice of vendors and subsidize the meals. So you use your senior millages on one end, we come in with the federal and state money and do that. Many times I get asked, why not just cut us a check? And the reason is, if we did that, the state would then be the monitor and the auditor instead of us. The state's allowed to charge 15% on your money. And by the way, I'm chartered by 10 counties, and you'll see my financial report in a minute. But they get to charge 15, we're at 5%. We get 95% into the services for seniors. So it's a great program. You donate to my agency once a year. We call it a local match. Your local match in 2021 was $2,900, a little over that. And in that same year, we returned over $900,000 in services to your citizens, our clients. We're very proud of that number. To date, all our audits have been immaculate, no findings, no recommendations, and unqualified. So we've done a good job, at least for I got to do my count. 6 years I've done it, going on 7. So that's my report, Mr. Chairman. And if there's any questions, I'd love to field them.
Any questions for Bob?
You were mentioning before, how long are the wait lists for any of the services, or if there isn't?
Well, I just was informed by my 2 board members that there's a slight list here, but the meal lists are going to grow as we come out of the pandemic and they lift the emergency and those extra dollars go away. So a little bit about my agency. I mentioned the Medicaid systems, the waiver, and eventually PACE. So right now, PACE isn't creating a surplus. Waiver produces a surplus. So we reinvest our Medicaid surplus back into the programs. But it's getting to be, the system's getting stressed as we come out of the pandemic and a lot of things are happening, I tell you, they're talking about maybe, this is a fight of giving us a 2.5% increase. What's inflation? We're not standing still, we're going backwards. And the other thing is the demographics have shifted for Region 7. The state just passed it. They passed it and didn't hand out the tables even. The board that's responsible for us. So we're hoping to get a copy of that and see what the future is going to bring for us. But we do believe, I shouldn't say Region 7 didn't lose population. It didn't grow as much as some others. So it appears we're going to be negatively impacted with that too. So it's extremely important that we get PACE up and running and start getting surplus out of that Medicaid system, because that surplus is unrestricted cash, just like out of the waiver. And then we can reinvest it and supplant the inflationary losses that we're suffering.
Any further questions for Bob?
I just have, excuse me, I have a comment. I was contacted by a constituent back in December. They were actually up in District 2, which I wasn't officially there yet, but she knew me, and so she got hold of me. They had a friend that was having trouble getting to her doctor's appointments, had cancer, and asked if I knew of anything. I said, give me a couple of minutes. I've got something in this pile on my desk, I know. So I found it right away. I think I was guided. But I called her back, gave her your number and or your agency's number. And I said, if you have any issues, call me. And I never heard back. So I'm assuming they got rights. So I was pleased with that.
So you have your transportation director in here, and we have a future meeting too. So, and I'm looking forward to that meeting as we reach out. So hopefully we can even sync up more transportation. So we don't take over your transportation system.
Right.
We supplant it. Usually it's for rides to doctors. That's what we did, non-emergency medical needs only. And we do go cross county lines. So our big forte though, and this is to the veterans, you can pass this on. We don't have a waiting list at this point, but we have to schedule the rides. And but we even take veterans down to the John Dingle and the Ann Arbor facilities when they need to go there. So, but I'm looking forward at working with my PACE with your county and maybe rides, and that might be us coming back here when I make my request of having a contract actually with your transportation department to transport my clients to PACE. So it's just one possibility we're going to look at to try and be efficient. So
Very good. Any further questions for Bob?
and haven't officially told them my request till today. So
I would like to add that I do have flyers in my car. I didn't bring them in. I'm sorry, about the PACE Center. And if anybody would like to go and see it, just contact me and I will gladly take you down and show you the facility and everything. It's just amazing.
We talked about that.
Yes, I told you, Gary.
if Christine and you all can work it out, I would love, I've heard, a suggestion about actually having a board meeting down there. I don't know if that's appropriate, but we more than be happy to, you guys have to figure out your own rules, but we'd be more than happy to take
You're gonna
the
have
whole
food there?
group for a tour.
You're gonna have food?
No, but I'll provide the transportation. Yes, there would be something there. They always have something. But we would love to have Sanilac County. You are one of the counties fully serviced by PACE. And the more we get the word out, we've just eked out about a year ago where we really got up and running. We were open a few months before, but we didn't really have any clients because we had to hire what's called an interdisciplinary team. That's OT, PT, speech therapy, doctors, PC, PAs, NPs. We had to hire audiologists or have the contract in place. So we did that all in the first few months, and then we opened the doors. So, and we provide a lot of those services in that building. So we pick them up, and they get a lot of their specialty needs taken care of. If not, then we transport them to their specialty.
Very good.
An awesome program. So thank you for your time. And I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate the information.
Absolutely. Oh, like Christine says, whatever you guys need, folks need for it. And we'd love for you to visit.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, that will move us on to interviews for the Sanilac County Community Mental Health Board. I'll call out the name. If the person is here, come on up to the podium. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Is Joyce Johnson here? Hi, Joyce. How are you today?
I'm real good. I'm always the first one. Sure is the first one. I was filling in a vacancy on the board. I find the board extremely professional. It's a great group of people. I am on the Region 10 board. I'm on the PAC. I've been on that group for a long time. I have a special individual with Down syndrome. She's lived with us all her life. She's 42 now. I am very much of an advocate for special individuals. And I can't say enough about the board at the time that I've spent on it. They are so professional and so caring. And that is why I really like to be on it and further my time on the board. It's a good group of people. They do the right things. And I want to keep it that way.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joyce.
Brett Lester? Brett, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too. Good afternoon. My name is Brett Lester. I'm the chief of police for the city of Sandusky. Been a police officer for 25 years, chief of police for 12 years. What many people don't know is I have a younger brother who's disabled. I've been on the board of directors for your community mental health for 3 years. And, mental health and wellness is just so important. It's more important now than ever. I think we're all beginning to realize this. I became a police officer to make a difference, and you can't make a difference if you don't have a seat at the table, if you're not involved. And so for me, being on this board with these wonderful individuals is making a difference in our community's mental health and wellness. I believe that, my unique position brings unique perspective to the board. And so I would be grateful if you would reappoint me to your Sand Lake County Community Mental Health Board.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Brett.
Next is Kristen. Not sure how to pronounce the last name.
No,
Yeah, sorry.
like the fun.
Okay,
You have to be a certain age in order to remember that.
well, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I appreciate you allowing me to present myself. My name is Kristen Milkey, usually go by Chris. I was born and raised in the Brown City area, moved down into the Pontiac area where I met my husband and was married for 35 years. Just this past year, he did pass away. So I've kind of come back to my home grounds to try to reestablish myself. I have always prided myself on being a very stable and upstanding citizen. And about 5.5 years ago, I had a very severe traumatic brain injury that occurred at work, and it changed my life 100%. So it is my desire to be appointed to the board as a consumer of the products. I have been through many, many different types of therapies in the past 5 years, some of which were effective, some of which were absolutely not, and actually caused more problems. I have found that pursuing natural approaches, whether that be through diet or exercise, is as important, if not more, as going into a pharmaceutical type aspect. I think I bring a kind of a balanced view to that. And so I definitely am interested in bringing my views. I have a passion project that I began shortly after that it's still in its beginning phases, but it's a nonprofit organization called Brain Share. And it is to bring more awareness for brain injury, a advanced and early diagnosis of that so that people can be treated appropriately. I kind of fell through the cracks. So I've seen the bad side of what happens. I would love to be a part of and advance a newer view of what we can do with the mental health as well as the elderly and how that affects all aspects of life. Because without your brain, you really can't do anything. So thank you very much for considering me.
Thank you for being here
Thank
today.
you.
At this time, is Elva Mills here?
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I got here, so it's a good day.
I've been with Sand Lake County Community Mental Health almost since I moved back to the area. And served a similar organization in South Oakland County. And meeting the needs of people, not just folks like myself who are pushing 100, but folks who simply need help. And we have a lot of those. We have an outstanding board. And we push them around a little like your police officer. And but for the most part, we're a pleasant group. And I believe I know you as well.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think he came in and sat down at one of our meetings. And we appreciate that. That's the way to know how we do our things. And we have great staff and not a lot of turnover. But I'd appreciate being reappointed. I don't usually cause trouble. But at 91 years old, I'm capable. So, but it's a pleasure to be here with you both. Because I've served the communities that I'm elected official in Oakland County, and I wouldn't have your job for anything. I just said I feel that. I know how difficult it is. Any questions?
No.
We appreciate. Go ahead, Roger.
You also served over in Port St. Lac, didn't you? As a village official?
No,
You didn't? You were involved with something over there.
probably. I have trouble staying out of other people's
Yeah,
business.
right.
I'm relatively familiar. I know how difficult your job is. So I try not to make it more difficult. So I'd be pleased if I were to appoint. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. Okay, that will conclude our interviews. Was that-
No, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jessica Simon. Jessica, sorry, I almost passed you over there. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Simon, and I've been on the board for just a year now, filling in a term from a prior individual. I currently work at Eastern Michigan Bank. I manage the commercial loan department there. And I also am active in various community events and organizations. My husband and I are licensed foster parents. So through the foster care system, we see how important mental health is to these children and helping them heal and recover. So being on the board has helped me see the other side of things and how they operate. And also I work with Reach the Forgotten, with an organization that go into the local jails, and I minister to the females in Sand Lake County Jail once a week. And I also have seen how mental health plays a big part in their lives as well. So I thank you for considering me for the board and appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Okay, that will conclude our interviews. We appreciate everyone being here to interview today. It's always nice to get to meet the folks that we appoint to these boards. The next order of business will be entering these 5 names into nomination for the mental health board, and then we will use the ballots to vote. So I'll entertain a motion to enter these 5 names into
I'll
nomination.
make a motion to entertain.
I have a motion by Commissioner Heberlin, support from Commissioner Ehart.
I didn't. I didn't.
You did? Did you have much trouble finding people to fill it?
Very much I had. Will.
We'll help you out.
Extremely.
Okay. So unanimous across the board, the four appointees would be Joyce Johnson, Brett Lester, Elva Mills, and Jessica Simon.
Okay. Congratulations, Joyce, Brett, Elva, and Jessica. You are reappointed to the Community Mental Health Board. Christine, we appreciate your interest. At this time, we'll move on to the Region 10 Substance Use Disorder Advisory Board. We need to appoint one person, and that was Teddy Pace. I'll entertain a motion to appoint.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Heberlein. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Teddy, is Teddy here today? I don't see anybody. Teddy is reappointed to the Substance Use Disorder Advisory Board. Our next order of business is a county commissioner appointment to a board, and that is simply that District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart is appointing Dale Schwarm and Dennis Measle to the Council on Aging for a partial three-year term expiring 12/31/24. There's nothing under commission chair appointments or general resolutions, so we will move into committee reports. We will start with Commissioner Moody. Evans?
I had the HDC Human Development Commission last week, but for me, it was more of an orientation to get the who's who around their facility and what they all bring to the table, which is a lot of community services, homelessness, we have Meals on Wheels, etc. Services out there for domestic violence victims. I'm just learning all that still, but good program and excited to learn a lot more about it. But that's all I want to have.
Okay, thank you, Evans. I had an ARPA committee meeting today. Commissioner Heberlein, myself, and Administrator Roski were involved in that. There was a multitude of things brought to the ARPA committee today. It was a jam-packed hour and 15 minutes of making decisions. Would you agree, Gary?
Yeah, it was a long meeting, a good meeting.
Yeah. So I will run through some of the things that are going to land in finance, which we'll be able to discuss later. The Sheriff's Department had a request to essentially replace their entire firearm package that they use in the Sheriff's Department. They found some issues with some of the equipment that they're currently using. So they initiated an ARPA request to replace that. But with that said, the Sheriff's Department has received two ARPA projects from the ARPA committee. The funding that will actually be coming back and used for this was actually a grant that the Sheriff's Department went out and got. Even though they got ARPA funds, they still went out and sought a grant. So they brought a substantial amount of money back, and it kind of fit within what their request was that will be discussed later in finance. A couple other things that were discussed today in ARPA are related to putting card readers on the doors within county buildings. So everybody that works here has one of these cards, rather than having the old push buttons on some of the more tricky doors. Everything will have card readers, and also upgrade the camera system throughout the county itself. And so those ARPA requests, the county will be using some ARPA to pay for that, but our insurance provider will be, what is it? It's about 50-50, right, Nathan?
It is exactly 50.
Yeah, so our insurance company is going to be paying for 50% of the card readers and the cameras, and ARPA will be paying for the other 50%, which goes to the match funds concept that we've pushed hard with ARPA and had quite a bit of success with. That is something that you will see at the finance meeting in 2 weeks. Some of these items were kind of, they needed to be done quickly, so you'll see them in finance later today. One of the other things that ARPA discussed today that I'm ready to discuss publicly, although we haven't taken action on it, is the county utilized about 1.2 million of ARPA to pay off a jail bond. And we did that because it saved the taxpayers interest. It reduced our payments from 18 years down to nothing. It was a good deal all the way around. So we've been trying to look for another avenue where we could potentially use ARPA funds to improve the overall fiscal health of the county. And one area that we've identified that might be possible to do that is the medical care facility has a loan that is a bond, and it's about $1.8 million. And what they're looking to do is to have us pay off, and just to be clear, the medical care facility's debt is county debt. So no matter what happens over there, we're responsible for the debt. So what we're proposing is to pay that loan off utilizing ARPA funds. That would free up $70,000 to $74,000 annually for the medical care facility to use within their budget. That's just the interest that would have typically been paid out on an annual basis. So overall, over the life of the bond, we would save the taxpayers about $650,000 in interest. It's going to save the facility between $70,000 and $74,000 on an annual basis. But rather than just paying off the loan for the medical care facility, the intention is the medical care facility would then pay back the county only the principal payments. So it actually creates a revenue stream for the county for roughly the next, how many years, Nathan?
It was until 2038.
2038.
Yeah.
So the county could expect then to be receiving somewhere in the realm of $120,000 a year in payments from the medical care facility. It saves taxpayers money. It puts money back in the medical care facility coffers. It absolves us of debt we already possess. The only hangup that we have currently is the medical care facility is requesting that we do a 5-year pause. So they would have 5 years with no payments. That creates a scenario where they would have roughly $200,000 a year to invest directly into capital improvements within the building, which also helps them with their Medicaid reimbursement. I think the discussion we had at ARPA today was 5 years seems like an awful long time. I see the value in it, but it seemed like an awful lengthy amount of time. So the ARPA committee requested that the medical care facility come back with some presentation in that 2 to 3 year range, see how helpful that could be for them and help us kind of get a better idea of what recommendation we'd like to make for the full board. So that's just something I wanted to bring everybody up to speed. Nathan, do you think I covered that in its entirety?
I believe you did.
Okay, thank you.
And they seem open to lowering it to 3 year.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, we're kind of the bank in that scenario. So that was what was discussed in ARPA today. And I will leave it at that for committee reports.
Yesterday, I attended the Child Abuse Prevention Council. They're doing a T-shirt fundraiser. The last day to order is today. If you go on the Facebook page, Santa County Child Advisory Center, that you can order your T-shirts directly from that website, and they're getting their T-shirts from Stoliker. They're going to hold a coloring contest on April 18th. A group of them are going to the Capitol, and there'll be speakers there, and they're going to plant a pinwheel garden. There's going to be 3 billboards throughout the county, one on M53, one on M19, and one on M25, and they're going to do their annual display on the courthouse lawn about child abuse. And blue is the color that you wear. Then that afternoon, I went to a council on aging. They have 4 meal sites currently in the county. There was 63 meals served at Deckerville. There was 214 meals served at Marlette, 129 meals served in Sandusky. Deckerville and Sandusky have theirs runs Monday through Thursday. Marlette is only Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And Lexington served 285 meals, and they run Monday through Thursday. They are also open longer from 9 to 3 because they have other activities for the seniors to do and stuff. As a total of 4,394 home delivered meals were served during the month. And there is a waiting list for home delivered meals. The Santa County Building Ties is a nonprofit group that provides services to seniors. They're hosting a senior fair on Friday, June 23rd at Sandusky High School from 10 to 2. And then that afternoon, that was in the afternoon. Today, I was at the Mental Health Board Committee meeting, and COVID cases, there was 39 cases this month. Last month was 50, so it's down. Overall flu cases low in Michigan. Early Childhood Access Fair is going to be on April 15th at Maple Valley from 11 to 1. They're going to start back up the Parent Cafe. This is a group that meets twice a week, and parents come in and they discuss problems and whatever, and they solve type things. Nearly half of the U.S. children ages 1 to 5 don't eat a vegetable a day or daily. And the health department is updating their website. Our community is down 3 to 4 dentists in this area. And that's it.
Thank you, Christine. Gary?
Christine, excuse me, what's the date of the senior fair?
June 23rd. That's Friday. It's during the Thumb Festival.
That's at the school this year?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So now I have to follow two people that gave two great specific reports by the numbers.
I got the cherry on top too, Gary. I forgot to cover this about ARPA, so
Okay.
maybe you could, because the board's gonna see that during finance. And
I'll
just,
cover that.
yeah.
So anyway, last week, John and I are, as he said, we've told you 100 times, you probably know it by heart. We're on the County Planning Commission, and part of that, we hired a firm, Breckett and Reeder, to help us with our master plan. And we're getting close to finishing that master plan up. And one of the things that came up about 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure that's why some of you are here today, is about agriculture land in the county. And so we attended that. It was explained a whole lot better. And through that, we decided in our meeting, ARPA meeting today, that and I know some of you that are here have received some of this information from Breckett and Reeder already. We're going to disseminate that out through the county and to the townships and to the elected officials. And we want to use ARPA money for that. And so we voted, we're going to bring that to the finance board here in a few minutes. So I think it's a good thing. Again, and I want to say this, I want to say it so clearly. The Planning Commission is not taking sides on either side of this. Our focus when we started this master plan is to put in that master plan what the feedback we got from a number of looking for
Visioning session, community feedback, the public and
community, our county feedback. And so we want to put in there what's best for short-term, long-term for our county. And again, we're looking at both sides. We're unbiased. And I want you to please understand that. And we can't be anything but unbiased because we have to look at both sides and take the facts and the figures from both sides. So I want to make that very clear. And I think we made that clear right from the start.
Yep.
So second of all, tonight, I think I've covered that part, right?
You got it.
So the second part I want to bring up, we do have a planning commission meeting tonight. And again, that's an open forum to the public. And we invite you to come to that. As I said earlier in my township report, in all townships, this is contentious on both sides. We understand that. And so we want to be fair to everyone. And there is a moratorium coming from Watertown Township. And I didn't go into detail, and I won't go into a lot of detail now, but at that meeting, the Watertown Township attorney got up and said, you can't move forward with that moratorium until the Planning Commission sees that and reviews it. So we're going to be reviewing that tonight as part of our agenda. So I think we're moving forward. John, I just want to bring up one thing. In our meeting last week, I thought it was great. The people over there, Breckett and Reeder, did a great job explaining and then brought us up to speed. Lisa Kenny is actually who we hired. She's the point person, but we hired that company. And we've got one more thing to go through, and that's transportation in the county for the master plan. And then once that is done, that's going to be combined, put together. It's going to go out for review. And then at that point, if the review is good and everybody's good, or we make subtle changes to it, then it's going to come to the Board of Commissioners to approve it or disapprove it. So we're looking at 6 months, I think.
yeah, I think that might be, that's the longest we're hoping, 4 to 6 months.
I remember a year and a half ago, we started looking for someone to do the master plan. We brought him in. I said, well, hopefully we can be done like the middle of the year, right? Well, that was a year ago, right? So yeah, little did I know it took a lot of time, and it's been great. We've had good input from our community, and really that's what it's about. We have to look at all walks of life and all organizations, all industries. And I think so far, I know I'm pleased with the feedback we got.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, I talked long enough.
Thank you, Gary. Roger?
I don't even cut hair.
Let's see, last Wednesday, I had a pre-construction meeting with the engineer and Santoro Construction out at Forester Park regarding our project out there. That is tentatively scheduled to begin in July. That is playground equipment. Really quite a nice addition in the center day use area of the park. Should be a good draw. We're still awaiting word from the state on the release of funding for the Evergreen Park project. I don't see that probably getting started, I don't know, late in the season. But whenever we can get the bids in and get them approved, we're gonna jump on it. We're not gonna wait until spring. Let's see, a week from last Friday, I was at the Michigan Works meeting. That was the largest attendance in my 2 years on that board. That room was packed. I think there was one chair empty. I don't know what the thing was, John, maybe the breakfast that they serve. I don't know. But I did share the talent talk and some other information with all the board members here and all my districts and city of Marlette. So there's some valuable information in talent talk. Anybody looking for job training to advance themselves, particularly the younger people, there's a tremendous amount of help available for them. Pay for the training, help with transportation, all sorts of things. So
You think that's an underused resource, Rod?
Absolutely.
That people just don't know it's there.
it still has a stigma that it's just for the unemployed and, to get you through that.
That you're gonna go in there and they're gonna just stick you somewhere that they need you rather than really trying to help.
Yeah, and that's not the case at all, at all. There's stories in the talent talk, and if you go to Michigan Works, you should be able to find that online. It's quite a book, and there's success stories in there. Young gals that are CNAs and they're getting schooling paid for, and in 2 years they're making $38 an hour as a nurse. CDLs, anybody looking to get a CDL, they'll pay for your training for a CDL.
Anybody looking to go into law enforcement or anything,
Yep.
they're paying for police academies. They're paying for you to your entire way through the police.
Uniforms.
And for housing.
Uniforms and it's definitely underutilized. Trying to get the word out.
Keep at it.
Yeah. Had a CMH meeting yesterday, nothing to discuss there. Have another one coming up on Tuesday, and that's about it.
Okay, thanks, Roger. I appreciate everyone's committee reports and got some good information today. That will move us on to unfinished business where there is none, so we will go into new business. And Roger, I got you running finance. We're gonna run finance after the meeting. Are you gonna fill in for Bill? Sure. Okay. So we will start with FA 061-22, authorization to purchase a forklift recycling center.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the recycling center to purchase a Toyota model forklift from Bell Forklift with immediate approval at a cost not to exceed $42,072 with funding from the recycling center, and further authorizes the board chairman to sign the necessary document.
Support. I got a motion from Vice Chairman Ballard, support from Commissioner Heberlein. Is there discussion?
Is it new? It's a new one or is it?
So I believe.
Last I knew it was a new one, and we've been at this for what, Nathan, almost a year?
Yeah.
And trying to get one on a waiting list and get one at the right price, so.
I think this is Toyota is the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any further discussion related to FA 061-22? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We will move on to FA 037-23, approval of 2023 current claims.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims for 2023 identified on the accounts payable report dated March 14th, 2023 for the general bank account in the amount of $129,892.79.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 038-23, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following amendments, transfers, and establishes the following accounts.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard. Is there support? Support. I support from Commissioner Moody. Is there discussion?
And just for the folks in the audience, we get reports on this like last week, so we review them ahead of the meeting.
Any further discussion related to FA 038-23? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 039-23, approval of additional fund bank account checks charged to February 2023.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of additional general fund bank account checks charged to February 2023 as follows. ACH payments, $504,515.28. Checks, $156,204.19 for a total of $660,719.47.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 040-23, authorization to dispose of vehicles, Sheriff's Office.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the Sheriff's Office dispose of a 2016 Ford Explorer, VIN number ending in 31041 with 129,259 miles or 255 miles, excuse me. 2016 Chevy Tahoe, VIN number ending in 29236 with 162,227 miles. And a 2017 Ford Explorer, VIN number ending in 63341 with 124,500 miles through Albright Auction Service of Vassar, and authorizes all proceeds of the sales be deposited into the Sheriff's Office vehicle line.
Support.
I have a motion from Vice Chairman Ballard, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 041-23, authorization of the federal bed rental program stipend.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the reinstatement of the $15,000 stipend for the sheriff for the purpose of the management, responsibilities, and process of the federal bed rental program contract, subject to annual review by the Personnel Committee, and further the contract ceases, so will the stipend effective upon approval by the board.
Support.
A motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there discussion?
If I can just be very brief, John, we had this discussion in our meeting, in our personnel meeting. And previously we had different levels of stipend as a former sheriff. And in those meetings over the last 4 or 5 years, we always said, the rule was at the end of each year, we'd review that. And at that time, when new sheriff came on, Sheriff Rich, we decided not to continue that stipend for various reasons. And over the past couple of years, we've had many conversations with the sheriff, and we looked at the facts and looked at the numbers, not only in our county, but other counties. There's counties that are close to our county that the sheriff was making more money, didn't have a bed rental. And this is an undertaking by our county to take on these bed rentals, and it takes a lot of time, and it's a good monetary program, I guess if you want to call it a program, for our county. And we debated back and forth with that, what that stipend would be. And the easiest way is we just reinstated it because it was hard to put a number on either way. And I think the Personnel Committee did a great job vetting it and over the past couple of years. And so that's how we came up with a number. And I think it's the right thing to do for our sheriff because it is a big undertaking and it's good for our county.
Thank you, Gary. Any further discussion related to FA 041-23? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 042-23, approval of building lease agreement.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby approves a 3-year lease agreement between the County of Sanilac and Sanilac Transportation Corporation for the period of January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2025. Further authorizes the board chairman to sign the necessary agreement. Support.
I have a motion from Vice Chairman Ballard, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 043-23, authorization to purchase Moducom radio console computers, Central Dispatch.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes Central Dispatch purchase 4 Moducom radio console computers at a cost not to exceed $10,957.99 with funding from the 911 millage fund for immediate approval.
Support. I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Moody. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 044-23, authorization to purchase annual subscription of the Smart 911 application, Central Dispatch.
The Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes a renewal of the annual subscription of the Smart 911 application at a cost not to exceed $5,724.50 with funding from the 911 millage fund.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That concludes new business. That'll bring us into general public comments. So if there are any general public comments today, if you please come up to the podium, state your name and where you're from, and keep it around 3 minutes, we'd appreciate it.
Bill Walters, I'm with Region 7. For the new members, I want to give you a quick update on what's going on in the county. We have 4 dining sites, as Chris had mentioned. The main kitchen is in Deckerville. You get usually 6 people there, but it's open all the time, so it just people can walk in. The second site is in Lexington. They get around 20 to 25 people a day. It's open, like Chris said, from 9 to 3, but they have a program director, I guess you'd call him. They hired a gentleman and he's going around here on Sanilac and Tuscola, coming up with things for the seniors to do to keep them active. The Marlette dining site, I was there today, they get about 18 people. And the high rise here in town gets anywhere from 8 to 15, depending on what's going on. And as a update, I was made aware yesterday of the shortfall on home delivered meals. We currently have 71 senior citizens in this county not getting a home delivered meal. And I guess I heard you mention ARPA money before. If there was any possibility of ARPA or COVID money or any money, HDC needs about $63,000 to keep those people on for the rest of the year. Might take that under consideration, just a thought. But other than that, things are going well in the county. Seniors are happy. And you had a presentation from my executive director earlier. With that, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Bill, thank you for all your service to Sanilac County.
Thank you, sir.
Any further public comments today?
Thank you for your time. Looking at your agenda, I'll just be a blip on the radar, but it's a big blip for us in Fremont Township. Mark Kenward, Kenward. I live in Fremont Township, Sanilac County. This is just a notice of information that we find there are problems with the zoning ordinance amendment that Fremont Township submitted to the Planning Commission and passed in Fremont Township on 6/22/21. Their Planning Commission did. And all of you have seen the package that I submitted last week. Basically, I have 9 exhibits here. The exhibits are, for the most part, the board's own minutes, which show that the ordinance hearing was not properly published. And on top of that, there are multiple cases just during the passage of that ordinance where individuals who were conflicted by contracts they had with wind and solar companies, they were allowed to vote without announcing it or recusing themselves. This continues to this day, and I'm sure you understand the other issues that we have. I won't take a lot of time with it, and I won't even read my summary sheet because you all have it. But I just want to make you aware that as of today, Fremont Township still does not have open hours. And one meeting, they passed out enough minutes for basically everyone that was there. But to get minutes from Fremont Township, if you're not at the meeting, you have to pay for them. And all these minutes that I used to determine how the ordinance was made, we had to buy them. So I'm concerned with that, and I will step down. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further public comments today? welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hanju Jeon from Samsung C&T America. I'm not sure if this is the right time for me to give public comment here. I'm here as a director of Samsung C&T America. We are developing a solar project in Watertown Township. As Gary Hoberlin mentioned, 2 weeks ago, Township Planning Commission passed the motion to another moratorium. So that's why we are here to introduce our project and address any question or concern from the public. So I'm not sure if this is the right time for me to introduce right now.
So let me fill you in.
Yeah.
So today at 4 o'clock in the EOC building, which administration can get you guys the address to if you want to attend, there will be a planning commission meeting.
Right.
The planning commission of the county will be the one that will address whatever was sent from the township. So you're more than welcome to attend that. That would be the correct time to address that.
Yeah. So
But if you have any other comments or questions for commissioners, feel free.
I'm good. I'm going to address more introduction at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further public comments today? Seeing, sure.
Ken Lansford, Watertown Township. Just wanted your board, I know you said 4 times that you're being neutral on it all and you're trying to be neutral, but I just, the stuff that's being said in the paper and some of the figures, you need to kind of bring up the positive to having solar. I mean, the solar panels are what, $1 million in the tax revenue on each acre. And that's going to be money coming to the coffers. And I know right now we got enough money in the township. It doesn't really matter. We got enough money in the county, but down the road, if agriculture happens to slip a little bit, there's a certain amount of tax revenue property houses and everybody needs. And if we got this opportunity to get a bunch of, I mean, solar panels don't use the police service. They don't use the hospitals. They don't use 911. All they do is pay property taxes. I think we need to at least put some kind of a spin. I know nobody's saying anything. We need to, it is a positive. It's kind of a gift. I hate to have people throw it away. And I know everybody says, well, you're getting some panels on your farm and this and that. And that is one part of it. But I hate to have people throw it away over just petty stuff because people want to farm it. And I realize that people are waiting for, I mean, they're waiting for me to go and I don't have anybody taking my place over there when I'm farming the farm. And I get that. There's a lot of negative stuff. So Gary, you said it 3 times, you need to be neutral. Like you put stuff in the paper, there's the positive, the negative, but you need to put in the positive too. The library fund, how much money tax revenue is coming. So just try to be both sides of it when you put something in paper. Thank you.
Okay, are there any further public comments today? Seeing none, we will move on. I see no need for closed session or approval of closed session minutes. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from Christine Lee, or support from Evan Zehar. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 2:08. Thank you, everyone.
4 o'clock at the DTF building. This we have our planning commission over in Dawson.
95.
95.
That's going to give you my.
So closed session is.
Perfect, thank you. I think.
Good meeting.